And we're back. Okay, so for this one, you want to talk to the Jubilos or click on the cart to actually help them save it. But obviously that requires checks, so you might as well make sure you're buffed.
Does it mean
Don't waste too long, otherwise you will fail.
Because I am righteous?
I don't know how long the timer is, but you can't just stand here forever. At least I don't think you can. Alright. While the gnomes were busy fighting the kobolds, furiously cursing and diligently punching their unwelcome guests right in their dragonish snouts, the cart was all but forgotten. The unwitting cause of the fight it was being dragged away by the scared ponies when it slid down the forge, sinking all the way up to the coachman's seat in the river. This was where the Skunk River flows into the Tusk water, and the current becomes excessively spiteful, cold, stubborn, and turbulent. Having taken hold of the gnome's cart, the Skunk River must have decided to drag it down amid all the commotion, but it was caught in the act. The surviving gnomes, led by the head of the gnome expedition, an extremely loud and crabby fellow, but not without some managerial talent, were able to catch the cart before it floated away. Faces red and grunting from the strain, they struggled to keep it from drowning entirely. Just then, a package fell into the water. With a heart-breaking splash, it vanished beneath the current, only to resurface 10 meters down the river. No, the head of the gnome expedition moaned as he glowered at the package. That was Alchemy in Life, the latest issue. After plunging into the cold river, the ponies immediately lost their nerve. Swiveling their ears and twitching, they tried to chew through the reins and throw off the load. Why are you just standing around? Go on, help them! The head of the gnome expedition was visibly dissatisfied as he shouted. So now we have options. Again, ways to encourage our success. The coral bar we found earlier, we can use that under the cart's wheel. That will help us free it from the stones. We can tie a rope to the cart. We found that earlier. And again, this is why the map is set up the way it is, where you can find this stuff. And if you need to go find those things, you can literally, we left the cart alone for a moment hoping to find something helpful nearby. So you can leave and come back, buff up, whatever. And again, bull strength, catch grace, you might need constitution, I don't think so, but like an intelligence check. So again, you can do like fox's cunning and owl's wisdom and blah blah to buff the upcoming stat checks that are clearly on their way. Clearly strength is going to be a big one. But we have two things, and we can choose a character. One of us tried to jump onto the cart to untie the ponies still standing in the water. So first, I'm going to use the crowbar. Set under the wheel, the crowbar wedged into position against the stones on the riverbed, making the process of pulling the cart out of the river easier. Lost the crowbar. Tied a rope to the cart. 1, 2, 3, and the rope was securely tied to the cart, making it easier to pull out. A good lesson for every adventure. Never leave home without a rope. Rope is your best friend. It's like the third invention of our people. You better have some rope with you. Choose a character. One of us tried to jump onto the cart to untie the pony still standing in the water. Keep the horses and ponies from dragging the cart farther down. Right, and the ponies are starting to panic. So now notice that we're going to have a check for mobility and Lord Nature. While she's great for mobility, she sucks at Lord Nature. She's decent at mobility, and she's really good at Lord Nature. So let's select her. Accept. Success and success. Perfect. Eliza nimbly climbed onto the roof of the cart and carefully crawled towards the ponies hitched up at the riverbank. The ponies seemed to be relieved to feel a firm hand holding the reins again. They calmed down at once and allowed themselves to be unhitched. In just a few moments, they were standing back in the ford, ready to pull the cart from the river. Continue. Now, we left the cart alone for a moment, hoping to find something helpful nearby. Now, do that. Pause the game. Quick save it since we made the checks that we wanted to make. That's awesome. So let's actually quickly look at that. She made herself a little bit of XP. Gotta dig it. Gotta dig it. Nothing else for the rope or the crowbar. Just making it easier. Probably made our checks easier is my guess. Notice that the ponies are here. But it should be that you can talk to something and rehitch them.
Follow if you dare.
Again, I have saved, so if we mess this up, I can always come back to it. But I remember there's ponies up here. So come up here. A pair of scared ponies stand before you. They don't run away, but they snort loudly and neigh as you approach. They are most likely the spare pair of ponies the gnome expedition used to pull their cart. When the kobolds attacked, they weren't tied to the cart, so they just pulled themselves free and fled into the forest. Hey, these are my ponies, stupid animals. Why did you flee the camp? The gnome glares at the ponies who seem unperturbed. On the other hand, if you were smart, I suppose you'd want me to pay for your services. I guess it's all in our best interest that you stay stupid. I love this guy. Lord Nature 15, try to calm the ponies. Success. Soothed by your voice, the ponies let you touch them and stroke their manes. You decide to lead them to the river to help drag the gnome's cart out. There we go. Now,
I do
the question
what I
is
must.
can we actually do anything with them? So we have these ponies here and these ponies here. Doesn't look like we can do anything with them. Alright, so now we do the last thing. Gathering our strength, we begin pulling the cart from the river. If you're certain you're ready, then let's do it. But be careful. Imagine the cart's full of gold or ale or some other thing you couldn't bear to lose. We tried to... That's a terrible picture of Marthropple. We try to pull the cart out. Yeah. We have a variety of ways to do this. This is why this gets fun. So Lord Nature. And apparently it's me that has to do the check. The exhausted ponies had worked themselves up into a lather, and foam covered the bits in their teeth. The Baron tried to calm and reassure them. Intelligence check. That's not bad. I can do that on an 8 or better. Seems there was a little sense in wedging the lever beneath the wheel. Wasn't the least bit stable, and all our efforts on it were wasted. The Baron tried to find a better use for it. Strength check. Again, not horrible, but again, I'd rather not do this one. Why, I think when you have strong hands, the Baron decided that if the cart won't give, we just needed to pull harder. Athletics check, and again, I'm pretty good at this one. A huge stone on the river bed was blocking the cart, so the Baron tried to find it and move it out of the way. Now, if you're a charismatic character, which I am definitely not, everyone was soaking wet, freezing, and exhausted. The group's initial enthusiasm had all but vanished. They glared at the cart scornfully, ready to give up and forget about it like it was all a bad dream. The Baron decided it was time to raise everyone's spirits, be it with a smile, a noble order, some shouting, or even a good round of swearing. Athletics check will be the one that I do, because it's my best check. Succeeded at athletics. They struggled together for a while. The cart finally made it out of the muddy riverbed and rolled back onto the rocky ground of the waiting ford, prompting some seemingly indignant sloshes and squelches as the river released its trophy and rushed along in search of easier prey. Losing no time, the head of the gnome expedition jumped inside. For a good while, rattling and swearing were all that could be heard from the cart until the gnome's face finally reappeared from under the rooftop, seemingly satisfied. Almost everything's still in place, he announced cheerfully, jumping from the cart. It's all wet and crumpled, but at least nothing's missing. Thank you, travelers. If not for your help, guided by my keen supervision, of course, I'd have had to say goodbye to all my possessions. Hellos. And that's how we get another buddy. Also, a level up. First, save that mess. Do our level up. With my paper handy, we are doing the Inquisitor. She is now level 7, level 6 Inquisitor. So now she gets another teamwork feat. Remember, the teamwork feats, I should be pointing out. She has summon tactics, so her pets that she summons has the same feats that she has as far as the teamwork feats. So all her summons have precise strike doing extra damage. Now they'll get whatever I get here. So what do we want to get here? Well, let's take a gander, shall we? Keep bumping her on the stuff that we know she likes. And now we have a chance to catch up athletics, so we will do so. From here, teamwork feat. Okay, so precise strike she has, that's the extra damage. Also, Jaethel has this too. I did that on purpose, by the way, because I saw that she had precise strike. If Jaethel joins the team, she'll be up front too. It'll benefit her to have someone else that has the same feat. So 2 Inquisitors for the price of 1. Shield the caster, shield wall, shake it off. Bonus to saving throws, that's helpful. Outflank, on the other hand, a nice bonus to your swing. Normally you get a +2 for flanking bonuses. She has a ton of pets that will help each other out. Why not give them flanking bonuses, so +4 for all her pets, so they'll have a better chance to land and attack. You don't like that? Back to back is another viable option. More armor for you, your pets. Again, solid choices. I think outflank, though, is my go-to. I'd rather hit. We'll get both of them eventually, but the point is I'd rather hit now. Now, she's level 7. At level 7, she's picking up her Corrigan Smash. This build is going to be very similar to mine in that she's going to get the Corrigan Smash. She is not going to grab Shatter Defenses, I don't think, though. So this just allows her to set up the intimidation check, and she'll be good at it. So it helps me out, too. So she scares them, and then I can hit them for flat-footed damage. So that's going to be nice. Solid. Alright, level 2 spell. And again, we don't have to be crazy here. We can pick something that'll work and help the team out. Delay poison. Solid, solid choice. And having it on tap, where someone on the team always has the ability to make us resistant to poison, comes in super handy, I find. Alright. Oh no, let's make sure
Our
that
time
goes where
has
it
come.
belongs. Save that.
I'm
And
there.
we talk to Jubi. The gnome that stands before you wears dirty and ragged clothes. They used to look stylish and wealthy long ago, but those times are long gone. His black hair is matted. A deep, fresh scratch crosses his cheek. Despite of this rather pathetic look, the gnome behaves with inner dignity and even manages to maintain a superior manner.
Jubilus Nartropple, at your grace's service. Your help with these kobolds and my almost drowned cart was timely indeed.
Love this voice actor.
By the way, it's a shame no one organized a greeting party when such a famous and popular person as myself arrived to your capital. I wasn't expecting a red carpet covered with rose petals, but you could at least have sent ahead some delegation.
My bad.
Oh, at least some of my servants are still alive. Do you know how much it costs to train a proper servant?
Jubi jabbers too fast, never stopping even to take a breath. You can see he's piled up some emotions and just needs to get these out of his system.
Also, while I'm on that, I'd like to make an official announcement. The roads in your barony are in terrible condition. People must search for wading fords to cross the rivers because no one had bothered themselves with building bridges, and honest travelers had to take the risk of being attacked by kobolds at any moment.
Indeed.
So, how did you say your barony was called? Oh, whatever, never mind. When I draw the map of these lands, I will call them Maybe Local Baron Will Help. I guess it's a fitting name.
Kind of a dick. No one fell silent at last. He just watches you with his shifty eyes opening and closing his mouth, as if he wants to say something more but hasn't come up with anything yet. Now, how do you know I am a baron?
I've already told you I visited your capital some time ago. Weren't you listening to me? And I'm used to being greeted by officials when I arrive to settlements of at least some importance. The glory of myself and my exploits usually precedes me, and officials usually prefer to be on good terms with me.
I didn't know you'd come.
Yes, you're right. I should have remembered that your lands are in the middle of nowhere, and you don't get updates on important things in time.
I'm not going to be mean to him. I like the guy. So what happened here? How did your cart end up in the river?
My party and I set up camp at the bank of this river. We'd just finished kindling the fire when that purple bastard appeared.
Mm-hmm.
You know what he told me? He introduced himself as the king of the kobolds and told me he needed our clothes because he wanted to dress his subjects properly, you see, as long as they've established the kingdom of their own. That's literally what he said. I wonder, where did he learn the words? Obviously, I told him to buzz off. Some kobold wants to strut around wearing the clothes of the great cartographer Jubilos Nartropple. No way. So I've been explaining my position to him, being rather eloquent too, suggesting he and his so-called kingdom might as well fall into the deepest sinkhole. In the meantime, I've noticed that kobolds have already started to untie my cart. Well, I called my men to keep the cart safe. They couldn't guess what to do on their own, just stood there with their mouths ajar. Then things heated up as the fighting started, and while we were fighting, the ponies dragged the cart to the river. Ah, stupid animals.
Well, can't really blame him. You said you were famous, but I don't know you. What are you famous for?
That was either a stupid and offensive joke or a case of total ignorance. The latter, I hope. I'm famous as a traveler, a cartographer, an alchemist, and a journalist. The students of all the major universities study the world using my maps. My articles for different journals are well known everywhere, from Andorran to Brevoy. You've definitely read some issues of National Alchemy, haven't you?
Now it all falls in. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, it's just in my, the heat of battle, and the house is, the rain is weighing down, and I remember some of your work.
Culinary Almanac of the Inner Sea?
No, yes, I believe I've read that too.
Or the most scandalous one, The Independence, describing benefits and drawbacks of governments and regimes in different states.
That is on my to-do list.
Didn't read any of these. Oh, well, don't answer that. I don't want to spoil my impression of your barony. It's spoiled enough already. It would be hard for me to write at least something positive otherwise.
Basically what Jubilos does is he goes from region to region and he basically assesses whether it's a good kingdom or not. writes it in a journal of some kind, and usually breaks them, I'm sure. So what is this? So what is such a famous person doing that far from civilization?
I pursue two objectives. The first is to write an article on this new barony of yours for the Independents. The second is to draw a detailed map of the stolen lands. Before this barony appeared, it had been too dangerous to come here, but now an opportunity has appeared. Thanks to you, I must add. So, as you can see, the freedom of speech sometimes grants positive comments too.
Outstanding. So again, he's basically a cartographer, so he's going to map the area.
Anyway, I'm almost done with this journey. My article is practically ready, so is the map. All that's left to do now is to find an old Dwarven outpost established here several centuries ago.
Remember, Hiram, he wanted to find the old Dwarven outpost. We have yet to find it. What is this Dwarven outpost you're searching for?
Your ignorance is stunning. You create a barony, and still you know nothing about the lands you own. I'll have to enlighten you on the subject.
Please do.
You see, long ago there was a Dwarven trade route crossing these lands. It connected Five Kings Mountains and the north. The route was so important to the dwarves that they were generous enough to set a number of outposts along it, manned with armed guardians to provide protection for the traders. One of these outposts must be somewhere nearby, lost and completely forsaken. But nothing can avoid the watchful eye of the great cartographer Jubilos Nartropple. I will find this outpost, and I will mark its location on the map. You can trust me on that.
Tell me, is this old Dwarven outpost abandoned? Is it possible it's now used by trolls as a lair, for instance?
Why not? Dwarves like being underground, trolls like being underground too. It's quite possible after dwarves left, their warm and cozy place fell into the hands of less attractive creatures.
Oh, by the way, if you have Lindsay in your party, which we do not, she actually knows who Jubilos Nartropple is, and she actually does a little bit of geeking out on him. And he kind of like, well, it's nice that somebody is capable of knowing a thing or two. And so he's pretty freaking hilarious. Well, let's see. I'm looking for the troll's lair. Maybe we're looking for the same place. Let's join our efforts and start looking together.
Well, you proved to be a capable companion in a case of emergency. I guess I can entrust you with covering my back. Let's go. I will send someone for my cart later.
Well, outstanding. So now he joins your team. Well, let's actually quickly pause and take a look at this character. Jubi, who's what I'll refer to him from this point on, has 15108, and just to compare with me, he's nowhere near me. So it's not surprising that they make him subpar. But he's a solid character. I mean, he's still better than Reg right now, and he's keeping up with the Kardashians, so to speak. Solid Dex, Con, Intelligence. His main stat would probably be Intelligence and then Dex. He's going to be a bomb guy, alchemist, to be sure. He throws bombs at targets, blows them up. You will find this invaluable. The bombs are touch attacks, just like your ray spells and your melee touch attack spells. Obviously at range, though. Well, weapon focus in the rays doesn't do you any good, but there is a weapon focus for bombs, so you can actually do that. Because of his high intelligence, he can get lots and lots of skills. And one of the bonuses that he has is, here we go, Knowledge World. Knows how he's racial +2 obsessive. Gnomes get this by default, just like the elves get a bonus to their Knowledge Arcana. Something that I will actually give him too, though, because of his high intelligence. These are the two intelligence stats. It makes the most sense to make sure they go up. As far as abilities are concerned, all alchemists get a mutagen. One of three kinds. One that bumps strength, one that buffs dex, one that buffs con. Each one of these penalizes an opposite stat on the mental spectrum. Strength penalizes intelligence, dex penalizes wisdom, con penalizes charisma. So the +4 to dex is the one I'll probably use the most often. We'll put this up to a solid 18. This is a bonus that will literally stack with other bonuses. So Cat's Grace and this mutagen will stack. That's very, very nice. A lot of people dip into alchemy for the alchemist build, just one level for this mutagen alone. That +4 is a really nice increase. And then again, it can be used for multiple things. Just you have to choose at the beginning of the day. You only get to use it once, sadly. There's a way around that, though. But the mutagen is solid. It can be improved over time. So that +4 to your stat can be actually a +6 or even a +8 eventually. The penalty isn't as severe. It's a -2, so don't get crazy. But again, if you increase his strength just to make sure he swings a melee weapon, let's say, a little bit better, or maybe you're using a composite bow and you want to make sure it does a positive damage, then you can increase his strength, but that will penalize his intelligence. I do not think this takes away his spell slots. He does have spells, but they're not called spells. They're actually called, what do they call those damn things? Oh, it's gonna bother me. It's like tinctures, and basically he makes temporary potions. They're still spells and spell-like effects. He doesn't have a huge spell list. Let's actually go to his book. So all these ones you'll notice are all, even if they normally aren't, they're all personal effects. Normally you can cast Reduce Person on other people. Same with Cure Light Wounds. All of his spells, until you give him a specific feat, he can only cast on himself. So that's a thing. Know that. We usually give him the feat that allows him to cast his potions. They are potion preparing. He gives him his ability to cast these potions on other people by giving him that feat. We usually do that too. It's not as important early on, but it's definitely something you want to do. As far as his bombs are concerned, and he can scribe into his book too.
Any brilliant ideas?
As far as his bombs are concerned, he starts off with 2 really good ones. So everyone gets an alchemist bomb, and then he can learn an acid bomb or other kinds of bombs, which he has clearly done. This allows him to do fire damage. This allows him to do acid damage, and they come from the same pool. So 9 a day, and that's it. So if I use this 5 times, then I got 4 more uses of either. So you'll get favorites, but you definitely want to have more than one kind. So it's good that he starts with this. I usually put his mutagens over here, and I do con, dex, and strength above that, so I always know what I'm activating. Dex is the middle one. He has his spells, for lack of a better description of them. We'll put them over here again. Most of them are buffs, as you'll see, but anything that's attack oriented I'll usually put on the right side. He can heal himself, which is nice, and he can buff himself pretty tanky, by the way. So he has quite a bit of utility here, but his bombs are really the bread and butter. Now, as far as equipment is concerned, starts off with a nice heavy crossbow +1, and he has leather armor +1. Now, we can give him armor. I want to say medium armor. Medium armor is outside of his range, so to speak. But we can give him armor. So we would pass off like a chain shirt to him that's enchanted or some such. His spells are not spells proper, and as such, arcane spell failure is not an issue. So that's a thing. Actually, you want to come this way. We'll loot all this as we walk out. And I see if he has marked our map with maybe that Dwarven Outpost. I don't think he has, because he doesn't know where it's at either, but it's a possibility. And we want to make sure that we're right on orientation, so we really need to start adding people like that. Look at all that. A little overweight, but nothing horrible. And again, we can sell stuff. Matter of fact, we're close by that Lone House Wizard. Why don't we go over there, make sure that he knows about the troll problem, and we can sell some stuff off, maybe? That'd be okay. Unless, of course, we have like to... Oh, we have an upgrade here. We gotta go back to base. What is it? Is it time for the... Might be time for the ball top. It doesn't say anything. Probably that damn advisor thing again. Oh! Advisor! Yes! Jubilos. Part of the team. And now we have the advisor. Boom. Now let's actually take a quick gander to make sure there's not something we can put him on. Remember, he's the economist, and as such, we want to make sure that economy gets to 6 or 20 as soon as possible, so that we can make it level 2 as soon as possible, so we get that extra BP every week, right? But trade. Aha! Trade agreement with Sertova. Now watch this. For 1,500 ridiculous BP, that's a lot. Which we can scrimp and save and get to it. Don't kid yourself. It won't take long. Just take that 1,500 and times it by 80. That's how many gold pieces you need to purchase that shit. So what is that? 15,000, 8,000, 120,000 gold. That's not that much. I know it sounds daunting, but by chapter 2, chapter 3, you could actually have scrimped and saved and got most of that. And you'll have the earning BP all along. So you can get to that reasonably quick. But look what it gives you after you complete it for 2 months. Each city, which we do not have yet, gives 5 BP per week. You can probably get like I think 2, maybe 3 cities total by the end of the game. Towns, you can get multiples of those, probably like 3 or 4, I'd say. Those get 2 BP per week, and then 1 BP per village. And there's enough territories. I'll show you the regions. There's enough territories that you can have at least a +1 to a +2 to a +5 multiple times. We can get Glendabon, here's 1. Pitax will be 2. Direnar Marches is 3. Southern and North are 4 and 5. Camelins is 6. Our Shrike Hills are 7. Oleg's area up here is 8. The outskirts, 9 over here for Varnhold. Dunsword is over here for 10, and I think they have Silverstep for 11, and then Tours of Levinis is 12. So there's 12 regions. There's actually a 13, but the 13th one you don't get to make a town in, or a city, or a village. So that's actually a pretty decent upgrade, if you can afford it, obviously. And again, if we had been juiced in the ass with that one guy where we got 500 bucks right from the bat, this would be a reason to save that 500 so that you can get to that 1500 a lot sooner. Do this one. The sooner you do it, the more money you'll get back. Remember, to pay this 1500 off, how much would you need to get back to pay it off and then exceed, if you will, what you put into it. So this is a long-term investment. But if you can afford it, earlier is better. We're probably not going to do it, just to give you that heads up. We do have training. Notice that we can train people with Jubilost. Curses. He can't do curses, but Jod can. We need an Arcanist to do the other side of the curses. But pretty happy with the fact that he's on the team. That's amazing. We're here now, so we might as well go back to town and sell stuff. But that's nice. That's really nice to have that 5th member. Once we get the 6th and 7th, it really starts to come together. Getting to 10 is, of course, the ultimate goal, but 5 is pretty solid this early on. Let's see. Will we take Jubi with us and leave the Magus behind? Yeah, I think we will. He wants to explore the region. We're looking for that troll area. When we find it, we definitely need to bring him. And we also need to bring Harem. This is why I said that we'll have times where my Triumvirate doesn't have the same 3 people. It'll be me, of course, always. We'll take Jubilost, Harem, and then there's another hidden 4th character we've yet to find. And he will also want to go mess with the trolls, too. Okay. Keeping the torches. I need to probably just equip those to people. Check those. I don't need the extra psi, so I might as well just get rid of it. Because that's BP, baby. That's money. Books. I'm going to sell Jubileous stuff. Old diary's not worth anything. Hunger's Crumpled Notes worth $2. You can have that. I don't want it. Yeah, alright. A quick stop to the throne room, just to make sure there's not a visitor there or someone that wants to talk to us. And then we'll get back on the road again. Probably, like I said, we want to go to that lone house, though, to warn the wizard. Okay, nothing as far as a cutscene, so we're probably good to go. Let's take a quick gander at their map while we're here. Alright. 3 people working on stuff. Quick, what do we want to do? Want a quick look at our Curse Troll Trouble. Find the troll lair. This whole mess of trolls can't just roam around all the time. They surely must have a hidden base, or they're at least a stinky, filthy troll lair. And again, somewhere in the region. According to Kesson, the troll lair is located somewhere in our marches. Again, this is our abandoned Dwarven fortress from Jubilost. This gives us information that he might be looking for it too. And of course, this is his little quests. Save the cart, talk to Jubi, help the elite travelers, and locate the ancient outpost. So again, he wants to come with. Tanaver's Depths, of course, that was that nightmare we had. Show the Dwarven ruins to Harem. A famous traveler, Jubileus Narthropol, is searching for the ruins of the Dwarven fortress, which lies hidden somewhere in these lands. Again, just letting you know that it's linked together. In Court Alchemist, we completed that one. So we should be good to go. Curse. In a day's time is going to tell us that we want to be back here. Maybe we won't go warn that wizard. I don't want to be out on the road. We might have to do a hard save on this just to prove to ourselves we're not messing anything up. Do we have any food to drop off? I do. I have nuts and onions and... that's it. Okay, leave. Yeah, we're going to take Jubi with us, I think. He's fun, and you will enjoy having him as a back ranking guy. His damage is pretty nice. The downside is if you don't have the right feats picked for him, he can do damage to the team. So, time to hard save. I'm going to say 14 days. The curse one. There's multiple curses. So, let's go here. And we can claim the loyalty bonus. Actually, let's hang a little to the right. Never go this way. Bridge over the Gunman River. That can be fun. Let's check it out. We probably have to come back here multiple times if it's a big area, because we don't have a lot of time. So we can't like camp and camp and camp again. But we can camp maybe once and not feel bad about it. Oh yeah, this is a big map. Okay, we'll explore it.
I'm off.
We have time. We clearly need a buff up.
Together we stand. Bores me.
That.
Yes.
Mage armor. Mage armor. He had armor.
I will not falter.
She buff.
Adayana.
Yourself delay poison.
No one stands
These two
in
now
my
in the
way.
front are immune to poison.
My skills are absolute.
And I can show you my favorite trick if we get a big group of bad guys on us.
Quiet. I'm thinking.
The mutagen buff, it's a spell-like ability, is the best way to think of it. It's not a spell, though. And I don't know that it can't be dispelled. That would be sucky if it can. Lasts for 10 minutes per alchemist level. So he's level 5, so we got 50-minute buff. So it's a solid buff to start using anytime you're in a big map. Lasts better than his other stuff. And not only does it give him a bonus to, in this case, Dex, he also gets a natural armor bonus, which, by the way, that +2 gets steadily better. So again, he just gets more and more and more. So if you look at the character, he's rocking a solid armor class at 20 right now. And he didn't do nothing but cast one little spell on him. Or mutagen on himself. And then again, I can bump it some more with his shield spell. Reduced person he could actually have in his list, which, by the way, he had options for spells. He has a lot of transmutation spells, you'll find. Makes sense because he literally impacts his physical form with his potions. But when you can get these ones like the healing spells and such also on his list, and like lesser restoration, things of this nature, he, when he has the ability to cast them on the team, becomes invaluable because it really just rocks from there, where he's just basically the team buffer. He literally is like, here's some delay poison for you, here's some haste for you, here's some, and he just heals the team and everything else. And like, he can cast a spell like shield, which is normally always personal. Like, I can only cast my shield on myself, she can only cast shield spell on herself. She can't cast shield, so she gets screwed, right? When he gets the ability to cast his spells on anybody, it means any spell, so he can cast shield on her. That's a +4 more to her armor class. She gets real tanky. Just saying. You're really going to like having someone like Jubi on the team. If I were to say what my dream team is, this is probably it right here. An alchemist, probably I'd actually make him a grenadier because they're slightly better. But still, he's solid. A magus of some kind, Sword Saint solid, but could be an Eldritch Scion. We have an Inquisitor who's amazing at wisdom and clerical buff / spell / fighting. We have, and of course summoning, and then we have someone that's really, really good at just magic in general. And again, some sneak attack rogan abilities. So we really have a team of 4 of awesome right now. No one's really a fighter per se. That's probably our only thing that really kind of makes us weak. but we have summons
I do what
that
I
make
must.
up for that. So I feel pretty good about it. Oops, I don't want you guys going there. If we find a reasonably nasty fight,
Follow
I can show
if
you a
you
really
dare.
cool spell combo that works beautifully for just beating stuff as a solo character. If you are immune to poison like she is, or now immune thanks to its delay poison effect, and that does make you immune to poison, by the way, during the duration of that spell, and that's many, many hours. You can use spells that you don't think of as poison, but they are. For instance, oh, this would be a perfect.
Ah, test of my abilities.
Dora, I want you to shoot this bear. Bears are tough. Probably one in the area, and this will give us a chance to do what I want to show you. Proto has a spell called Stinking Cloud. Notice it is spell descriptor poison. This literally is a poison spell. I can have her move, so I'm going to do so. So she has a little bit more range to it. Why? Because anything else that gets caught in is going to run through that cloud and have that effect on them. See that? Failed their fortitude save. That's a Stinking Cloud. Okay? That's awesome. Why they failed it twice, I'm not sure. It's possible I have a trait on her that gives her the ability to screw them over. Let's see if that's the case. Okay, ability injury, rogue talent, no. Pragmatic activator, no. Blade, what will it be? No. Undead creature, undead curse. Nope. It's a little weird that it affected him twice then. Maybe because, I don't know. Actually, I really don't know. Shouldn't be because of spell focus. The reason I say this is there is a feat or a trait. I think it's a trait. No, it's a feat. It's a meta magic feat that allows you to apply a saving throw 2 times. Or basically, if they fail it or pass it the first time, they'll roll again. That's what I thought was happening here. I don't think that's the case. Maybe there's 2 bears. Oh, that's it. There's 2 bears. It's got to be what it is. Anyway, in your turn, when they leave the cloud, you notice that they're still sick. So the goal would be to be trapped in the cloud with them. The only way to do that is to be immune to poison. She is, and she is. Of course, the skeletons that she can summon would be too. So again, you could cast this down with anyone else. She could summon her skeletons. The skeletons would be wailing on the bad guys. The bad guys would be puking their guts out, which is what this little halo around their head is indicating. They're basically nauseous. This is an amazing debuff. Awesome. It's not helpless. They can still defend themselves, but they cannot fight. They can't cast spells, and they're basically just screwed. So now here's Jubilos. He can throw bombs, but now, just as a reminder for him, his abilities include Precise Bomb. You need to have this. If he doesn't have it, this is one of the first feats you pick up. And it's not a feat per se. It's actually part of his class description. I'll show you that in a second. It's part of the discoveries. But basically, it takes any bomb he throws, and it will not affect allies, including himself. Just he's immune, we're immune, so we can cast him at his feet all day long, which is awesome. They don't get that by default, though. The Grenadier gets it for free as a feat, but they get it for free as a feat at like level 2. So you just have to survive to level 2 as a Grenadier, and you have the ability to just start chucking bombs at your feet. Well, at the feet of the bad guys. So it doesn't matter if it's point blank range, is my point. But we can do like acid. Boom. And notice, chuck the bomb, touch attack. They always are. And the damage scales as he levels up. And I want to say it's every even? Every odd. So at 1, 3, 5, he gets another die added to his damage. Notice he has a +5 on it as well. Where's that come from? Should be the intelligence modifier and probably point blank shot. So +4 from intelligence, +1 from point blank shot. So now he's solid +5 to the damage extra. So the more intelligence he has, the more minor damage gets added, and more bombs he gets a day, and more spell-like abilities he gets a day. So you might as well buff his intelligence through the roof. That was a solid hit.
Do
Liza's
not
turn.
hold back.
She did her Cornigan smash. Remember, she has power attack on. See the effect? And when I get to level 9, I'll be able to capitalize that with my shattered defenses.
We shall overcome.
I'm going to buff up. This is a big map. I'm going to do the several minute
Don't
buff.
hold back!
Now, I do have
I'm
concerns.
losing my temper. Dispatch those
Yeah,
fools.
but there's other bad guys in the area. Okay? Proto, I want you to delay your turn. Let them all rush her, because they'll have to stand in the poison cloud. I can't get in the cloud, but again, because of turn-based combat, I can stand just outside of it. And it's perfect for us this way. Eliza can stand in it because she has this spell on her. So if you have the ability to at least cast Delay Poison on yourself, which is, by the way, one of the reasons I've been keeping and hoarding some of these scrolls. If I wanted to, I'd pass this scroll to him, or Jubi. They cast it on themselves, and they can enter the cloud and attack too. And again, while we're protected, and if they're not, they're puking their guts out, and we're just whooping their ass. It trivializes so many fights when you do this combo. So, the fact that you have an undead is my new favorite character, because she is straight up immune, period, to the poison effect. But Eliza is going to... yeah, let her get up in it. I don't mind. From here... See, the stinking cloud immediately stopped them in their tracks. Juba lost. He can shoot them at this range, so we might as well. His bombs don't reach quite as far, but if he does the 5-foot stutter step, he might be able to hit them. Looks like he can. Use the fire one just because it's different. And again, same damage, no difference, it's just fire. Notice that there's AoE damage. Instead of it being 3d6, it's 3. Why? AoE damage, the splash damage, let's say it that way. The splash damage from his bomb does however many dies worth of damage just as a point. So if it's 3d6 now, it becomes just a flat 3. And he still gets his +4, +5, whatever he gets from his intelligence modifier, point blank shot, stuff like that. That's why you're seeing the +4 here. So a solid amount of damage. Why it did 3, not 7? Oh, halves the damage. There it is. They made a save. And again, love as soon as they get in it, they start puking their guts out, and they're basically screwed. Now, Proto can do something that she normally doesn't ever do. She can do melee.
Out of my way.
Dora, your turn, kiddo. I want you to...
So tired.
There we go. He has to stay out of the cloud, remember? Once they get to the edge of it, he can get in close enough to smack them. But if he gets into that cloud and fails that fortitude check, which he probably would, he'll be puking his guts out, and then he's useless for the fight too, so why do that to yourself? Eliza, start wailing on that
Strike
alpha.
as one.
He's the tough one. He's the one we want dead. Solid armor. You can see Jubilos can now start capitalizing on the big groups that we've clustered on the team, because again, our team's protected, they are not. Nice. Just take one of them out. Yeah, come on up here. Everyone wants to have fun up here.
Run them through. Ah!
Her cantrips would probably be a better idea. And they can, because they can't defend themselves, or they can defend themselves but they can't attack, they don't do attacks of opportunity either.
This will hurt.
So I could have her casting spells right in their face, and they wouldn't do shit because they're puking their guts out.
Do
Eliza,
not hold
get
back.
this one because he's outside the cloud. You're going to have to hit something, Eliza. Jubilos can't carry the team forever. Okay, he can. But he shouldn't have to. Alright, I'm going to switch back to her spell. So let's do cantrip. And Dora, you come over here.
You should have run!
Nice. Eliza.
We shall overcome.
There we go. Hit somebody. You've lost. I'm just going to have him shoot at this
Clever
point.
ploy.
That'll work. Acid tick. Didn't even know that was a thing. Must be because it was a direct hit to the bomb. That's awesome. Proto, what do you got?
Let's hear you
Cantrip this one.
cry.
Dora, can you get over here again?
Strike!
Staying outside of the cloud all the way. Liza.
Attack!
There you go. Good work, kid. This cloud's about to run out, but with turn-based mode, we got multiple rounds of that cloud, so we're actually doing pretty good for ourselves.
Primitives!
If you were doing this on the non-turn-based, this cloud would be gone in a heartbeat. You'd be like, what happened? Because you're busy not micromanaging everybody like I am. So it's easier for me. Nice, and got some sneak attack for that too.
Don't hold back!
Boom! Solid. Like I said, trivial fight at that point. Could have been so much worse. Now there may be more bad guys
I'm
up
there.
ahead. We
I
should
was
always
successful
check.
in my search.
Fragment ring. Note the chart of a ring. That's again another thing that if we get multiple of them, they'll craft that into a ring. The storyteller will. Oh, we got anything else over here? What else have we got over here? Tazilorn. And again, it would work on them too, I believe. There are some bad guys in the game that are straight up immune to the poison effect. Obviously undead, so you don't want to try that trick against, like, zombies and shit. But again, she could have her skeleton horde doing the same trick, hiding in the cloud, whipping up on those bad guys. Again, that fight would have been over in a heartbeat. For these guys,
I will
we
see
definitely
this
want to
through.
deal with them. And since her pets that she summons, at least these ones, are not immune to poison, we don't want to use that trick, obviously. So we'll do what we can.
This
Will
will
they
be
ever
quick.
learn?
Do the typical tactics of just straight up killing
Fine
guys.
use of my talents.
Solid hit, Jubi. Good work. Dora, can you do for us here? Blessed went off. Why don't you reactivate
So, Tiger.
it? Poof. Come up a little closer. There's another one. And another one. And yet another one. Holy hell. Jesus Christ, how many dudes did we free and summon? Alright, this is going to be rough. Liza. You got the dogs, they'll be here in a moment. What do you got for kills? Cure moderate. Cure strength. Okay. You do have the buffs and poison protection, so you're doing okay. Well, there's no reason to waste it, so we'll use the Bane here before too long. We'll just get up in their
Strike
face,
as
though,
one.
to make sure that they group up on her. You know, she's our toughest person, so to speak, for armor. Proto, alright, you're going to do the 5-foot stutter step so we don't screw it up this time. This guy's mugged. We have a good shot at
Out of my
sneak attack damage.
way!
Solid. And it's weakened. I love that ability. This is just the best ability ever. Taking 2 away from their armor just because they got sneak attack is freaking amazing. Okay, Jubilage, you can come over here. See this big cluster of bad guys? Come on, battle those. I don't know if they're resistant to fire or acid, but this one got hit with acid, so I'm going to assume it works. Yeah. Main hit took the big number, that's the 18. Everybody else took the fraction from the splash. Dora. You don't have any poison protection, and these guys are poison ability, so we need to be real careful with you. Tinker. Solid. They get multiple attacks too. Pop it down, pop it down. This little snake biatch is sick. If I want to go crazy on weapon attacks, kick that Bane on.
Do not hold back.
That's just some extra swing, just to show it to you. Remember, that's the extra +2 that she's getting there for everybody being Bane to her. And then the extra damage that she got on that. So not only did you get another +2 in here, she got 2d6 of force damage as well because of the Bane weapon combo. Now, unlike her, who has the toggle, my main character as a Magus will unlock a feat, or a Magus Arcana. Magus Arcana. That is Bane ability, much like my fire ability for my weapon, so I can have it on for multiple minutes at a time. So mine is slightly better than hers, but she still has a solid chance to whoopity whoop on her, which is my point. So have her move again a little closer. Good job, puppies. Now, if we were really concerned, we still have another summons on our team, the Skeleton Horde. And again, these guys have multiple attacks, so it gets to be nasty. But already we've got one about to die, a couple that are wounded here and here, and some newcomers. So we're doing okay. Hoping it can move over here probably. Let's do a fire spell that bounces through. Hopefully it'll kill this weird one as well. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Nice work. Yep. And they're riffing like crazy on her. How's that going? Oh, they're missing because of that. That's nice. 31 armor. Now imagine if I throw a shield spell on her from Jubilost, where she's at 35 armor. At this early level, this is your tank. See what I'm saying? She's solid choice. Jubilost. I don't worry so much about bombing so much as killing.
A
So just shoot
clever
something.
ploy.
That'll do it. We have this guy over here. He worries me, but I'm not going to
This
rush him.
spell works
I'm just going to cast cantrips and help do this thing. I would just take it all. Oh god, I hit her. Damn you. That's okay. That's mine. Liza's turn.
We
Get a
shall
little payback, Liza.
overcome.
What was that? There you go. Crunch. I love the explosion from the force damage
Attack!
for her Bane weapon. Purple Lich, your turn. You just can't.
Run them through!
The dog managed to dodge all that. That's impressive. Good job, Jubi. Alright, Dora, I think it's time for you to get your ass up in here. Finish it off. Good job. Collect their loot.
I
They got
do
gems
what I
on them.
must.
That's
That
sweet.
is quite a
And,
discovery.
is that a trap? It looks like a trap. Okay. Again, I'm the one that wants the XP, so we'll buff
I
me.
stand ready.
We should move.
By the way, Jubilost makes an amazing trickery guy,
Yes?
if you are so inclined, because he has not only skills in it, but again with the high dex he gets extra from his mutagen. And of course the fact that you're going to give him intelligence and dex gear, you'll have that stat, you know, through the roof. He's a really good trickery guy, but not our best by any stretch of the imagination.
I'll take care
Definitely
of it.
solid though.
That was easy.
Boom, half plate plus 2. We'll take that.
I'm there.
That's probably going to be for Harem. Good work, team. Okay, we got over here. More of these damn slither people, or are we
In
good?
due time.
I think we're good. Alright, moving on. See how big this map is? I love these big maps, man. One thing that they did right about this game, in my opinion, big maps are awesome. Oh, hey there. Do we have puppies still? We have a puppy. Maybe it's
Battles
time
await.
for that skeleton army. Lots of doggies. Again, would be susceptible to that poison trick, so if you had multiple castings of that spell and immunity to it, this character, like I said, could solo a lot of shit. So, just need to get her higher and have more spell slots with that Stinking Cloud spell in it. Dora. Where's the other ferocious wolf that's yet to attack? That's this doofus. I'm gonna have you delay. I want to see what this wolf does first. Okay. Eliza, you might as well just start setting things on fire. Or cold. Yeah, I think they're susceptible to anything. Nice. And then step
Strike
forward.
as one!
Now, Dory.
This
go over
will
here.
hurt.
Yes, my guy. Go over here. Let the dog in. Go. Proto. You don't have anything you can do, so just end your turn. Let's go with an army on the other hand. With left and right. Okay, let's go with an army. Alright, time for Jubilost to show them what's what. Boom. Alright, Eliza.
Do not hold back!
Doing the whooping. That shut off, by the way. I don't know if I did that myself or it
We
just
shall
happened.
overcome!
Hope it shut off by itself so I don't have to think about it. Dora.
You
here.
should have run.
That's not good. Proto.
Let's hear you cry!
Attack. Gotta go a long way for finishing off this mess. Ooh, wow, that's good. skeletons. And our puppy. Okay, Jubiloss, you coming over here. Acid splash this guy. Or acid bomb. Liza.
Attack!
She's having problems. Dora.
Strike!
There you go.
Die!
Ooh, that'll work though.
Will they ever learn?
Strike as one.
Kibble. Alright. Got some skins. How are we doing on weight? I'm fine. After yesterday's fiasco of me telling you that the armor would be perfectly fine and then losing it, hopefully you'll watch that video, I'm going to not do that mess again.
I'm there.
We will prevail.
Oh, hey there, Mr. Bear. Bears. Alright, Jubiloss gets a turn. I could do the shield spell on him, I don't care.
A fine use of my talents.
He's gonna stay in the back right now anyway. Liza can summon though. Get a bunch of dogs out. And then come up here to tank these bears as best you can. That's 4 bears. This would have been great for that spell. Dora. Come up here. I guess cantrip. Hey, you hit. Good job, Dora. You know exactly what you're doing.
Out of my way!
Setting them up for everybody else. Oh my. We're about to lose our little armada. Jubiloss, you're coming right up here, bro. And chucking that pretty acid bomb right on this doofus. Nice. Alright, Eliza. More summons. One's just not going to cut it, dear.
Do
heart.
not hold back.
Getting in on the attacks, man. Look at that. Again, outflank and flanking. So flanking +2, outflank her their teamwork feat, remember? That's another +2. That's why it's +4 total. So that's awesome. Dora's turn. I am going to cast a spell and attack this one. Bro, what are you doing to me? Proto. I think it's time for the Ooh. Oh, Dora. Holy hell. Well, I got pretty good armor. Not amazing.
We shall
Definitely worth, though.
overcome.
Nice solid hit. Alright,
Don't hold back!
there it is. Ooh, with a crit no less. Double damage of 8d6. In your face, bear. Suck on that.
I
Okay,
do
aim
what
it
I
this
must.
way, right? Let's finish going that way then. Ooh, yeah. Fixing this. Treasure. I swear the dog barked just as we found it too. It's super funny.
Defeat is not an option.
More reasons to fight. Let's start off with a nice wand of fireball spell, just to weaken everything else over here. Ah, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, at least. All right, Liza, I want you to delay your turn past your dogs, so they come up and get into the thick of it. Okay, now you can. Let's hit him with an obvious stone shaker. Take damage. Okay, Proto. We don't need more skeletons for this one, I don't think. I will sicken. Nah. Snowball. Boom, take 33 points of damage. No sneak attack on that, but still solid damage. Love that spell. Lost. Let's just 5 foot step closer. And
Clever boy.
oh, Jubi, you beast. Okay, my turn with another fireball wand just to use it up, I suppose. Nice, managed to kill one of them. It always amazes me how many people end the game with like 17 wands, and 500 potions, and scrolls so much that they can literally make their own library. It's just the weirdest thing. I just want to equip them something else to replace the one that's missing. Oh, Cat's Grace, Magic Missile, Vanish, and Fine Traps. Let's do Magic Missile. It's probably a garbage one. It's like a probably one missile attack. It's okay. Eliza, can you charge this fool? Yes, you can. Do so. And he has been terrified. Beautiful. Proto.
Let's hear you cry.
Die, loser wolf. When you start getting guys that can't be sneak attacked, though, you have some serious issues with this party.
due time.
Feel like we missed out on something here, but can't say for sure. Alright, it's been about another hour, so let's actually do another break in the video. And we'll explore this side, and then of course that whole damn side on the next hour. I'll be right back.